Okay, this is my quick review of the Xiaomi Mi A2 Lite smartphone. This is a Android 1 smartphone, which basically means it runs a pure version of Android instead of having, say, Android 8.1 or Android 9, and then the manufacturer sticks a load of software on top of it. This is just a pure kind of version, which I personally love. So this phone actually only cost me £115 in the Black Friday sale a couple of months ago. I've now been using this phone for a couple of months, as I just said. And I'm absolutely super impressed by this phone. From day one I started using it, I just cannot imagine why you'd want to buy a £1,000 iPhone or a Samsung phone costing, you know, that kind of price, when this phone kind of does pretty much what they can do with only really small drawbacks. I mean, this, you know, if you just wanted a basic phone which did, you know, run all the latest apps and did all the latest things, this phone does all those kind of things perfectly fine. So this is the phone. Obviously it comes in this nice little white box here. So in the box you get the charger and you just get a little leaflet. You also get this silicone case here. So it's just a little plastic or silicone case which goes on the back of the phone like so, which just helps you it's a little bit loose fittings, you know, could come out quite easy, but it's not too bad. So if you did want a little case on the back, you can put that case on the back. You can also buy a case of your own, which I have. So just take a look at the phone. So it comes with a fingerprint reader on the back, so you can just press that. If I just press that and show you now, if I just press that, the phone unlocks. You can also do a little pattern as well to unlock the phone, or a password. So it comes with a 12 megapixel and a 5 megapixel dual camera on the back, and I think it's 5 megapixels on the front. So in terms of camera quality, with any kind of budget phone, the quality will always vary. Outside it takes pretty nice photos, inside kind of hit and miss. You know, in low light conditions this phone is a little disappointing, but that's kind of be expected for this kind of price range. But outside, if you want to take photos outside, you know, they're pretty good in my opinion. Not amazing, but you know, certainly well above average. So the phone is very well made. It's quite thin. You can see it's not the lightest phone in the world. That's because it has a metal back rather than the plastic. So if you wanted a phone with a metal back, this has a metal back. You can see it's got an 18:9 screen, so it's quite big. You can also see the screen automatically rotates either way you hold it. That's because it's running Android 1. In terms of all the apps, so this doesn't come with any kind of bloatware, it's just a pure version of Android, and it came with Android 8.1, but it's now been updated to Android 9 Pie, so it will come with Android 9 Pie, so you just have to update it yourself, which is pretty easy. So in terms of the speed, it's pretty fast. I can click on, say, Google Maps, you can see a couple of seconds and it loads straight away. Again, I can click on, say, the YouTube app, a few seconds and it loads. So it's pretty fast. I mean, it doesn't really matter what kind of app you kind of use, it loads them all pretty fast. So you get these little buttons in the bottom here rather than a dedicated pad. You have the circle, which is your home screen. That's one which takes you back to the apps you've opened, so you can see all the apps you've opened. So this particular phone is the 32GB version and 3 gigabytes of RAM. You can get a 4GB RAM version and 64GB of space. But this version, in my opinion, is perfectly fine. You can also upgrade the storage with an SD card, which I have. You can buy an SD card for around £12 to £15 for 64GB. There's just a little slot there, which I'll show you in a minute. And there's a dual SIM, so you can put 2 SIMs in there at once if you want to and use 2 networks, plus the micro SD card. So I'll just show you that. So in the box you've got this little tool, little pin. You just push that into the hole on the left hand side and the tray opens up as so. And you can see there it's a dual SIM. I've got 2 SIMs in there plus a micro SD card. So this takes a nano SIM, so if you have a standard SIM you will have to order a new SIM to put it in, of course. So it's pretty easy, so this slides back in as so, and it locks. Just make sure that goes a little fiddly. As you can see, the cards fall out quite easy. That's probably what you get with a budget phone, but okay, we'll try again. Slide the cards in. Just slide them in gently, and then back in they go. So that locks into place once that goes back in, so there's no chance of that opening unless you stick a little paper clip in there or something. So that's all nice and secure. So again, just to turn the phone on, touch the fingerprint reader and it turns on. So it runs, I've tried probably 100 plus apps, and it runs all of them really well. I've even played a few little games on it and it runs pretty good. I think I played a sniper game I have on here somewhere, which I was quite impressed by the graphics. I mean, they're probably much better than the, kind of PlayStation 3 early games, kind of that kind of quality. But, so far, I mean, you just swipe up, you can see all your apps there, you get your settings up here as well. So this is kind of really easy to use because it's Android 1, it's a pure version of Android. There's no kind of gimmicks on it, no kind of manufacturer software, confusing software, so you can adjust all this. You can see as well the screen brightness. You can swipe down from the top, swipe down again. You can see the screen brightness up here, so you can go, that's obviously dim for say night time, and there's a bright time. So it's a full 1080p screen. It's really crisp and sharp. I mean, that's probably my first impression of the phone is when I turned it on, is how bright and crisp this display is. You can use this in quite bright sunlight, not super bright sunlight, you might have a few issues, but in normal kind of bright sunlight it's pretty good. You can see here on the camera that's quite bright. I'm in quite a light room here as well, so I prefer to have it halfway down when I'm using it because that's just too bright, especially at night time. So you can see you got obviously a torch on the back here, a little LED. So it's quite a little bright LED, good for, it also doubles up as a flash for your camera, so you can see the camera up here. So once you switch on the camera, you can also choose up here to have the flash on or off or on auto and so on. So yeah, I mean the camera quality is pretty good. You can see all the apps here, so when you take a photo you can just click on your Google Photos and you go into that. You can also see here I have lots of different Google kind of apps. There's also an app here which allows you to transfer files between your phone and your computer. You can also send it to other phone users which have this Mi Drop app on, so that's a nice little feature. So in terms of speed, it's pretty quick. It's obviously not as quick as say a £300-400 phone, but for the price. So I paid 115. It normally retails at 180. I think at 180 is probably a little bit overpriced, but I certainly think around the 150, 160 mark, this is a fantastic phone. So you can probably get better phones that have been out for say a year or so and been reduced, but I think this came out in July or September in Asia. Then I think it got released in this country, in the UK, in autumn. So it hasn't been out that long in this country. So yeah, I'm really impressed with this phone. It's fast. All the apps run smoothly. It has a pure version of Android, which I think is its best selling point by far. So no kind of confusing menu systems. It works really well. I'm really impressed with this phone. I think you can get this phone for around 150, 160 tops. You probably won't find a better phone for the kind of money. £150 on a Black Friday sale. I think I got a real bag in here. I think, I haven't seen it go down to that price. It probably will go back down to that price towards the end of this year, as perhaps a new model might get released, and this will be obviously sold up on the cheap. But I think at 150, 160, if you can pick this phone up for that kind of price, this is a fantastic phone. So that's my video for now. So thanks for watching.